Okay. Projectile motion. Make sure to write your notes properly. I'll not be sending the PDF in the group. So projectile motion, what it is? A particle projected at an angle theta where theta is not equal to 90 degree with the horizontal. So anything that you throw at an angle other than 90 degrees is called a projectile. And its motion is called projectile motion. Now this is a standard textbook definition. Whatever I'm teaching, everything, all this stuff is there in HSC also. The pure science students, these derivations, whatever we're doing, everything is there. HSC books are not like previous year anymore. They started copying everything from NCERT now. So things are changing even at HSC level. Meaning recently I just had a look at the 12th new textbook. Some of the questions are at like, there are at least 1-2 questions at G advanced level. So the thing is that so HSC don't think like it is going to be a cakewalk anymore. So next thing, a better definition would have been this. Suppose if velocity v is this way and if you have an acceleration this way with an angle theta. Theta is not 0, theta not 180. Then what will happen? This would go in a curve. This is a 2D motion. Meaning it is traveling both x and y. Suppose if theta is 0, then what happens? V is this way, A is also this way. So it is going in a straight line. No? It's a 1D motion. Suppose if theta is 180, means what? V is forward, A is negative. It is decelerating. So this is one-dimensional motion, which we have studied so far actually. We know how to handle things when it is going up and down, when it is going left and right. So, but what happens when you throw at an angle between them? That is something new which we are going to deal with. Got put it down. So now let's see how to go over that. So the main catch is I know how to solve the problem if you throw up and down, if you throw left and right. What if you throw at an angle? What to do with that? So that we are going to see how to handle that. The Sauron has a good background, right? Himalayas, mountain, cloud. Yeah, you should have a competition again monthly, like the best background. Getting it, the best person to sleep. Kind of. So weird things do happen. Yesterday I was taking for Mullen batch, so I was telling them like, in case you are hungry, you can have something. It's okay, but listen to the class. The moment I said someone took out a lace packet and started eating, that was also okay, no problem. He just kept it in front of the camera and eating it just like movie theater on. I thought like, chalo, I will tell him after a minute. Chalo, abhi start kiya, let him eat. In the time I wanted to tell him, his mom came from the back, slapped him on the head, take the lace packet and went away. Like that was even better. He was saying, "नहीं sir ने ही बोला था खाने के लिए." Like, I said, breakfast silent क्या है? When did I say take out lace and eat like a theater? People do quite weird things. Now the problem is you guys can't see all these things. You are busy seeing the screen. Since I see all of you, I can see what all stunts you're doing. Sahil now, Sahil got angry. Sir, look at my background. Mine is even better. Clouds are moving. Copied? turning the pitch. So how do we handle this thing? So if you're throwing at an angle, what we do? So we study projectile motion by splitting the motion along two perpendicular directions. And studying them independently. The resultant motion will be the sum of these two. The resultant of these two motions is the projectile, is the net, or you can say the net motion. Gives us the projectile. Again, a pretty layman definition. These are just to explain what is happening. What do you mean by this statement actually? See, suppose if you throw a particle with u and theta, we know this thing. Vectors may, I hope everyone studied the resolution of vectors. So if this is theta, this is the opposite side, this is the adjacent side. Opposite side will be u sine theta, adjacent side will be u cos theta. Right? Hope everyone knows the resolution of vectors. So I can divide this thing as u cos theta. I can divide this thing as u sine theta. And here I can write ux. Now see, u means initial velocity. X matlab initial velocity in x direction. Initial horizontal velocity. Y meaning initial vertical velocity or initial velocity in y direction. Now what we do, this motion I can split into two particles where one guy is going up. So he will go up and come down, plus one guy is going horizontally with u cos theta. So here the acceleration is 0, here there is a gravity. So this is your vertical motion, which I know how to do, meaning I know how to do when you're throwing up. No? I also know what to do when you're going horizontally. So basically what we are doing, right? We are making the projectile particle jo you say project kiya, right? We are splitting into two different particles. One particle is going up and down, one particle is going left and right. So the one which is going up and down will give you all the information in the vertical direction. The one which is going on the left and right will give you all the information in the horizontal direction. When you add these two, you get the total information about the projectile. You get everything that is happening in X and Y. We will see how does that work in the next page. So, but the main theme in these problems, right, is to split the motion into different directions. And I know how to do if it is going up and down, if it is going left and right. But if you do both at the same time, I don't know what to do. So it is better you split the motion into two different parts, study them independently and add them back. So such a kind of thing, right, is called principle of superposition. This is a concept which comes a lot in all sciences, most of the times. What it simply means is, if an event 1 creates an effect 1, event 2 creates effect 2, event 1 plus 2 will create effect 1 plus 2. In simple terms, if your friend 1 beats you 2 times, if your friend 2 beats you 3 times, friend 1 plus 2 will beat you 5 times. But actually 2 friends are there, they beat you more than 5 times. But you got the point. So we call it principle of superposition. We use this a lot. Remember this thing, even when you go ahead for research, right? It's always like this. When someone says the problem is tough, a tough problem is nothing but 5 to 7 simple problems. You solve the simple problems, tough problem gets solved. So same way here, I don't know what to do if you project at an angle theta, but I know what to do if you're throwing up and down, if you're throwing left and right. So this is my uy. This is my u sine theta. Put it up. Any doubts on this thing? Anything that you're confused with, do ask me. Done? No. Let's see what is happening here exactly. So one guy is going up, u sine theta, which is uy. So you go up and come down, plus gravity is there. Another one is going horizontally, u cos theta, which is ux, and there's no acceleration in the horizontal direction. So this gives you all the information in the y direction. Now we use the standard equations which I know. S is sy uy t plus half ay t square. Basically, I'm using S is ut plus half at square. Everywhere I'm just putting a subscript y. Y simply indicates you're talking in the y direction. What does this become? Y is equal to u sine theta time minus half gt square. Meaning this is your y coordinate at any time t. If you say t is equal to 1 second, 2 second, you will get the y coordinate from here. Similarly, Vy is Uy plus Ayt. This will be u sine theta minus gt. So this will give you the velocity in the vertical direction at any time t. If you see, I'm just using the standard equations. V is equal to u plus at, S is ut plus half at square. Similarly, in x direction, Sx will be u subscript xt plus half a subscript xt square. But here this will be 0 because ax is 0. Horizontally, there is no acceleration. Na? So this gives me x as u cos theta into time. This is your x coordinate. Similarly, vx is ux plus axt. This is again 0. So we get vx is ux is equal to u cos theta. Means no matter what happens, horizontal velocity will not change. Now, what we do from here now, this will give you y coordinate, this will give you x coordinate. Got it? So on a graph, x and y, let's say this point mein time is t1, here time is t2, here time is t3, here time is t4, here time is t5. Different times mein I'll find different y coordinates. Let's say 1 second, second second, third second, fourth second, fifth second, aisa. But different seconds I'll find the y coordinates. Same way I'll find x coordinates also. T1, T2, x coordinate at T3, x coordinate at T4, x coordinate at T5. Now, when I plot all of them, what will I see? This is the x and y coordinate. T1 pe x0, y0. T2 pe, this is the thing, x and y. T3 is this, T4 is this, T5 is this. So if you, different times you find x and y coordinates and you plot them on a paper and draw, connect them, you will find a curve. So what we are doing is, if someone asks you, a particle is thrown at an angle theta, what is the position after 2 seconds? So indirectly क्या पूछ रहा था? He is asking you to find x and y coordinates. So if instead of doing directly, you can find the x coordinate from this guy, find y coordinate from this guy, and then just put it on the graph. You'll find x and y coordinate at any time t. You're getting? This is what I mean to say. Study the motion separately. Study the vertical separately, horizontal separately. Now whatever you need, just add them up. What do you want to find? X and y, na? Find x from the u cos theta, find y from u sin theta. So you got x and y for the projectile. Got it? Put it down. We will go into more detail. Individually, we are going to do more detail. Vertical, horizontal, I'm going to discuss in more detail. So here the main catch is, if you observe, horizontal velocity remains constant. Because horizontal में axis नहीं है ना? So horizontal velocity is constant. Vertical changes with time. Put it down. But any particular doubt on this page, do ask me.
Sir,
हाँ रे.
can you please turn the page? I'll just take a picture.
I didn't copy, yeah.
Done, sir.
Done. Now let's see what happens in the each direction separately. Turn the page. First, let's see the vertical direction. So you're throwing it up with uy, which is u sine theta. So you just go up and fall down. So at the highest point, velocity will be 0. That is vy. Okay. And this is your h max. And if you remember the formula, what is h max ka formula? U square by 2g, na? So there will be u y square by 2g. So if itna difference tha, in place of u, you will get u subscript y, which is u square sine square theta. Got it? Similarly, what is time of flight? 2u by g. That is nothing but 2u sine theta by g. If you see now, wherever there is u, that becomes u sine theta. And we also know there is something called time of ascent, which is u y by g. That is also u sine theta by g. Time of descent, that is also u by g. That is also u sine theta by g. And we know in y direction, the y coordinate is u sine theta t minus half gt square. We wrote this thing just now. And velocity in the y direction will be u sine theta minus gt. And one important thing here, time of descent and time of flight are valid if it comes to same level. Meaning, remember this thing, if you throw like this from a building, or if you throw like this from a building, formulas are not valid. So basically this formula and this formula, these two formulas are valid only if you come to the same level. If you're throwing from a building or if you're throwing below the building, these formulas won't be valid. Hope you remember that. So from whichever level you throw it, it has to come to the same height. So then you can use the time of flight and descent ka formula. But if you're throwing from top of a building or you're throwing below the building, anything, if you're not coming to the same level, don't use that formulas. They're wrong. So vertical direction, this is all the information that you have. Put it down. Anything particular you didn't get or you're confused, please ask me. Copied?
So 1 minute.
Then horizontal direction. So you're going with ux, which is u cos theta. So here we define something called range. Range is what? The horizontal distance traveled in time of flight. So Sx, uxt, and here ax is 0. This gives me u cos theta into time. So for range, it is u cos theta into time of flight. So range ka symbol is r, okay? So that is u cos theta. What is time of flight? 2u sin theta by g. So that would be u square 2 sin theta cos theta by g. What is 2 sin theta cos theta? U square by g sin 2 theta. Now, in case someone forgot the formula, sin 2a is 2 sin a cos a. This was something which you need to by heart. If you forgot, remember this. If you don't know this before, please try to remember now. By heart this formula. Sin 2 times a is 2 sin a cos a. Now here, when you see this information now, we observe something here. Theta, 90 minus theta, these are called complementary angles. So complementary angles are when the sum should be 90. Theta and 90 minus theta give same range. What is the meaning of that? See. So if you project with 30 degrees, you will fall here. 30 का complementary angle कितना है? 60. So if you project with 60, you will go higher, but you'll again fall at the same place. So if you project with 30 or 60, you get the same range. You can check it out. You can prove it. See, अगर theta 30 है, so what is range? U square by g sin 2 into 30 na, that is sin 60. So u square by g sin 60 is root 3 by 2. Suppose if theta is 60, u square by g sin 2 into 60, that is sin 120. What is sin 120? Root 3 by 2. You can manually check for 30 and 60, you get the same value. Everyone has to remember the values from 0 to 180 degrees for sin, cos, tan. जो table दिया था trigonometry में. You need to mug up sin 0, 30, 45, 37, 53, 90, 120, 150, 135, 180. Sin, cos, tan values for all this should be remembered. So if you throw a particle with the same speed, 30, 60 will give you same range. So anything, theta, 90 minus theta will give same range. For example, 70, 20, 80, 10, 60, 30, 50, 40, so on. I'll show that in the next page. So this is all the information that you get in the horizontal direction. So the something range is something new. This we didn't have it in 1D motion. So simply range is if you throw a stone, how far will it go? As simple as that. Have a look at this. Any particular thing you didn't get, please ask me. Be very sure about this. Copied. Let's see. Next one. Now here, so we have range is u square.
So can you once again go back? So done.
Now here, see, for maximum range, so if you want to throw the stone very far, obviously, if you remember when you're throwing stones in the river and all, you try to do that. Sine 2 theta should be 1. That means 2 theta should be 90 degree. So theta is 45. So when theta is 45 degrees, we get ranges maximum. So what is the maximum range then? Sine 2 theta becomes 1 to z. So what is happening here? So if you throw it like this, let's say this is 10 degree. If you throw it 10 degrees, you fall here. Again, if you throw it 80 degrees, you fall at the same place. So 10 degree and 80 degree will give you same range, but they'll go different heights. This is 30 degree. This is 60 degree. 30 and 60 will give you again same range. They'll go to different heights. This is your 45. So 45 goes the farthest. And this is obvious anyway. If you throw straight to 90 degrees, you'll just go straight. So 90 will give you the maximum height, but range is 0. You're getting how the particles are flying? So if you throw particles with the same speed at different angles, you get different ranges. And you'll observe for two angles, you get the same range. Those are the complementary angles. So 80-10 is a complementary angle, 60-30 is a complementary angle, 45 is unique. Put it up. Any particular doubt on this thing, please ask me. So this thing normally must have observed when you're throwing stones, right? We try to throw at 45 degrees. This is under the assumption there is no air resistance. So this was 80 degrees. Give me oats and nuts. Little. So if someone wants to study about these angles, the speed, velocity, want to see a live demonstration, either you can join Indian Army, where the lively, they have, or you can play this game in. Play this game. One of our favorite game in engineering, like. So you have 2 tanks. Getting it? So here you can adjust the angle. You can see how is the needle moving. You can change the angles also. Right? So if I keep, let's say, 90, that is straight. This is power. Basically, this is your speed. One-day motion. Right? So There are pretty interesting bullets actually. There is something called a tracer round. This is what actually people normally use also in defense. You fire. See what it is telling you. If you adjust the angle by 10 degrees, you're going to fall there. So what happens if you increase the power and change the angle? I think this is going to fly out actually. There. So you want any more information on that? You can, so you can go to the pocket tanks again. You can have a look at it. You can change the angles. Problem kya hai na? If there's a flat surface, right? I could have showed you for 2 angles you get the same range. So first to make the flat surface, I have to blast all that mud with the bombs. अभी वो game खेलते रहेंगे तो class will get over. So you guys can try it at home. I think if there's a custom app, I could have done that. The Pocket Tanks is one pretty good, interesting game, completely designed using physics. It works perfectly with projectile motion. No air resistance. That is the ideal case we are studying. That's one. Now, if you see another game is there, which one? Angry Birds. Angry Birds is another projectile motion game. Works perfectly. That is one. But normally, right, all these calculations are stuff. If you see, normally in military divisions, right, they have 4 types of things. One is the infantry, they are the soldiers. Second thing is this mechanized infantry, tanks and all. The third thing is the logistics and support. And the fourth one is something called artillery. Also seen Uri movie, right? In that thing, remember the general tells, like, I'm shelling 3 दिन पहले start करके and slowly बढ़ा देते करके. And then the song comes, they take these big guns and fire. Those are actually called artillery guns. These things have a range of 40 to 50 kilometers. So meaning literally you're firing from, inside your border to the other side border, 40, 50 kilometers range. So when these people are doing, right, normally the army people have the maps. And what happens, the entire map is, mapped up. N23, L21, like, everything has a different coordinates. So when you say, now what will happen? Let's say your soldiers are here and you have enemies here. So what will the soldiers say? They have a map and they'll say, we want fire support at M23. This is how they're going to report to the army headquarters. The army headquarters, what they do, M23 meaning M23 ke liye jaane ke liye, there's a particular speed and a particular angle. They define speed and angles before only. Every coordinate has a particular U and a particular angle. So then there's the artillery people who are there, they just load up with the U and theta and start firing. Now all this happens should in a span of like a minute or less. Getting it? So normally that is how they support this, the artillery with this thing. And Sweden, right? Sweden or France, they developed a gun like this. Now, you see what these people do, they take this gun and put it on a truck. Then it becomes a howitzer. So it is a movable artillery gun. So what these people did, the Sweden people, now see, imagine you have a terrorist camp here. In order to destroy this, you need 6 shells or 6 bombs. But the problem kya hai na, since you're firing from very far, 30-40 kilometers, it takes around 30-40 seconds for each shell to fall. It takes time. Getting it? Now see, think about it, what happens. If you fire the first bomb, when the blast happens here, will the remaining terrorists stand there and wait for the second one? They start running now. Because between firing and loading, it takes minimum 10 seconds. Within the 10 seconds, terrorists will start running from the camp. So you need to destroy the entire camp in one go, but aapke paas sirf ek hi gun hai. So what this system does, it does something interestingly. The computer does the programming. Humans, it's difficult to do. It will fire one bullet with very high speed, very high angle. Second one, less speed, less angle. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth. It fires 6 bullets in a minute with different speeds and different angles, such that when the first one is landing here, the 6th is also landing here, 5th is also landing, 4th is also landing, 3rd is also landing, 2nd is also landing. You can make all 6 of them land at the same time by projecting with different speeds and different angles. So now the person who is designing this or writing the software code for this, has to know something about a projectile. Without that, it won't work. So like there. So projectile motion chapter is very important. Why? It helps you to play Pocket Tanks game, right? Angry Birds game, and military people sometimes used to blast enemies. So that is not so important anyway. But Angry Birds, you want to play without this chapter, it is difficult to handle it. That is one. So now that's the X and Y. Now combining the stuff. Now see. Now if I combine both of them, this is what I will see. So when you project it with U and theta, you go and land somewhere here. This is your H max. This is your range. So if you say this point is 0, 0, then this point will be R, 0, and this point will be R by 2, H max. So basically the maximum height will happen at the midpoint of the range. It will be symmetrical. Left hand looks identical. And we know the formulas. What is H max? U square sine square theta by 2g. We know time of flight. 2u sine theta by g. We know range. U square sine 2 theta by g. Important thing, these two formulas are valid only when you come to the same level. Not same point, same level. Remember that. Same point pe to aayega nahi. Got it? So these cases are excluded, like which we have written this already. So if you throw like this, or if you throw like this, or if you throw like this, these cases not valid. So you can't use time of flight and range for these kind of cases. Usko alag se karna padega, that we will see later on. Hmax has no problem. Huh? Hmax is fine. Because what is Hmax ka definition? See here, this is Hmax. Here, this is Hmax. Hmax has no problem because this is the height from the point of projection. Eleven. This is the max height from the point of projection. So Hmax formula you can use from anywhere you throw. That doesn't matter. But the time of flight and range formulas won't be valid if you're throwing from buildings. Remember that. I have seen people write blindly writing the U square sine 2 theta by g, especially happens with medical repeaters. You say range, this is U square sine 2 theta by g. What is the question? What is the nothing? They don't care only. That's the problem. I had one kid, 2 years back. He was a repeater. The problem with the repeaters is that only they mug up everything and come. It is difficult to change them, and we don't have time also in order to change the way they think. So that kid, what she was doing. I asked her. I projected with you, find the range. He said, U square sine 2 theta by g. I said, good. You remember the formula? Then I said, what if I throw from the building? U square sine 2 theta by g. Okay. I said, what if I throw like this? U square sine 2 theta by g. Meaning, it has become like a robot. Huh? You say range, you say U square sine 2 theta by g. Then I asked her something else. I asked, find the range of masses. Karke. I changed some problem, okay? But the moment she heard the word range, U square sine 2 theta by g. Meaning, it doesn't care what chapter it is, what is the question. Range means that is the only formula she knows. So that becomes a big problem because exam mein questions will be theoretical. You need to think a little. Clear with this? Then that pocket tank game, na, especially in IIT when I was there, the side roommate used to be there, Aravind Karke. We used to play it a lot. Not much. We played for 2-3 weeks, I guess, continuously every day. We are like experts only, yeah. So the remaining friends used to come and see the game. They used to get shocked, like, how do you know exact angle and how do you know the exact velocity? So like maybe it's an instinct. We used to fight a lot with this thing.
Sir,
Hare.
sir, can you please show the previous page?
Okay. This one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, now this is best thing. Let's say there's a Holi or something coming and you have to draw the rangoli. Na? And in case you are confused what to draw, take U with different velocities, different angles. You get whatever shape you need. So you can use projectile motion to draw rangoli also. This many practical applications very rare to see. Copied?
Yes, sir.
This page is also done. I can turn.
Yes.
Next one. Trajectory. What is a trajectory? Trajectory is nothing but path of the particle. Meaning, simple definition. Let's say if you're going on a straight line, trajectory is a straight line. If you're going on a circle, trajectory is a circle. Simply trajectory meaning the path in which you're going. Okay. So here in our trajectory, so when you project this with u and theta, this guy goes up and falls down. So at every instant you have an x comma y coordinate, meaning assuming this is origin. So on that path you have x and y coordinates. No? What is x? X is u cos theta into time. We wrote this thing. So time is x by u cos theta. What is y coordinate? U sin theta t minus half gt square. Take time from here and substitute in this. We get u sin theta into x by u cos theta minus half g x square by u square cos square theta. I simply substitute time in the equations. U gets cancelled here. That will be x tan theta minus gx square. We will write all the formulas in one page in the end. This is called equation of the trajectory, and this is the derivation. You know, HSC will ask you derive the trajectory of a projectile motion. Then you need to do this stuff only. Now, entrance perspective, there's even a better format. If you take x tan theta common, you will see the formula becomes 1 minus x by r. R is the range. You can prove this. I'm not going to do it. You can substitute r there and you can see both will come same. Dono same, huh? They're not different. I just wrote them in a different way. If you substitute r there and solve, you'll get that above equation. You can verify that. So this thing, right, the shape which you got, this is called equation of trajectory. And the shape which you're seeing, right, this path is called parabola. And so whenever you throw a stone into the air, right, the shape which you see, it is not a circular shape. It's a parabolic shape. So basically, here you saw the diagrams, all these red, green lines, all these are parabolas. The shape which they're going, the curvy things, all are parabolic shapes. So this is the trajectory of this thing. Have a look at this thing. Any particular thing you are confused, do ask me. Remember this thing, projectile, whatever you're doing here, it doesn't look, it doesn't come only here. This comes again in electrostatics. That is the 12th standard ka first chapter. Getting it? This thing keeps popping up everywhere. Wherever a particle moves, this thing comes. Projectile motion, loss of motion, and it comes in electrostatics, magnetism. Yeah, you can bring it up in multiple places. Copy. Next thing. Do keep your hands on velocity and acceleration profile. What do you mean by that? Meaning, I want to see how are the velocities and how is the acceleration during the motion. So when you projected this guy, initially the speed is u and theta. Now, if I see the motion here, this thing horizontal velocity is u cos theta. This is your ux. This is your u sin theta, which is your uy. As you're going up, what happens? This is the velocity. This is the angle alpha. So v and alpha are speed and velocity and angle at any instant. So meaning as you're going up, the particle becomes flatter and flatter. It doesn't, it becomes horizontal and then comes down. So here, if you see the components, this will be u cos theta. Vertical component will decrease a little. It will become smaller. Once you reach the highest point, the horizontal will remain same. The vertical becomes 0. Remember, we wrote in the beginning, when you throw a particle horizontally, kuch acceleration nahi hai na? So the speed, horizontal speed will remain same, but vertical will decrease. Then while coming down, again see horizontal will remain same. The vertical will start going down now. The arrow will reverse vertical direction. And once you reach here, you come back with the same speed. But the direction has changed. So if you throw a particle with speed u, in an ideal case, you will hit the ground with the same speed. Sirf itna hi difference na, the angle will change. The direction has reversed. Got it? So at the highest point, so at h max, the speed is u cos theta. Remember this thing carefully because people have a small notion. When I ask them what is the speed at the h max, this is 0. Okay, है ना सबको लगता है maximum height है तो speed 0 होना चाहिए ना. Remember, at the maximum height, vertical velocity is 0. To go any more high up, it can go horizontally. There is no problem. Got it? And here, if you look at this velocity, this is vy, this is vx, this is alpha, na? So we have tan alpha is opposite side by adjacent side. So we get tan alpha is Vy, which is u sine theta minus gt by u cos theta. This is the formula we need to remember. Meaning as time passes, the angle will keep changing. And we also know what is the horizontal velocity Vx. That will be V cos alpha. This is V cos alpha. Na? This is V sine alpha. Opposite side, adjacent side is equal to u cos theta. The thing here is when you're going up, the speed will change, the angle will change, but V into cos alpha ka product will remain constant. Getting it? So these are the two formulas you need to remember. And what about the acceleration? That is easy. You go up, you go down. It doesn't matter. Gravity is always down. So velocity, what will happen? As you're going up, horizontal will remain same, vertical will change direction and become smaller, whereas the acceleration will remain constant. Highest point where velocity is not zero, and the angle made by the particle with alpha, यहाँ पे alpha it will be like this. This is alpha. So alpha is the angle with the horizontal. So that is the velocity and the acceleration profile of a projectile. So that is how the velocity changes and the acceleration behaves. Have a look at this thing. Any particular doubt, do ask me. Done? Put it on neatly. Clear? Then done, Rahil?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, vector form of a projectile motion. You can even study projectile motion with vectors only completely. But I'll just give you a brief about it. We'll not go too deep into it. Now we know what is the general equation. S is ut plus half at square. You can write this with equations also. So here you can write this thing S bar as u bar into t plus half into minus g t square. So this is like, you know what, if there are two vectors, u bar t, and you have a vector half gt square. Remember triangle law? The triangle of vector says if two vectors are added, then the resultant vector is from the remaining tail to the remaining head. This is S bar. Triangle of vectors. So if you see, this is also principle of superposition. What this means is, when you're projecting with u and theta, so I'll tell you what is happening here. What we do now, इसमें there are two terms, ut bar half at square. Instead of doing both at the same time, we will see one at a time. Meaning, first assume it is going in a straight line. If there is no gravity, how will it go? If there is no gravity, it will go in a straight line. Na? That is your u bar t. Now, if there is a gravity, what will happen? It will fall down. That means where is the particle? The position is this now. Getting it? So for different times, let's say 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, if you do this for different times, you will observe all these points will lie on a parabola. Meaning 1 second pay here, 1 second pay you're here. Second, third second. So what we are doing is assume it is going straight and then falls. But real life में क्या होगा? Gravity is also acting at the same time. So what we are doing, assume it is going straight and then let it fall one at a time. So when you draw arrows like that, you'll observe the S bar ka vector rotates also. So that is a format, nothing much more on this. It is just an idea like, you know, vectorially, how does it look like? So don't worry too much about it. That is the main thing. If you understood, it is great. If there is any confusion, but do ask me. Done. So if you see, that is the all the theory about projectile motion. We saw how it goes vertical direction mein, horizontal direction mein, h max, time of flight, range. Then we saw velocity profile, acceleration profile, the equation of the trajectory. That is the entire theory about the projectile part. So what I will do, I'll just write all the formulas on one page. And the most important thing, right, like I told you, see, physics mein kaisa na, there are only 4-5 concepts. but the number of problems you can play around, right? It will be like there are n number of combinations. That is the whole point. So that we will learn only when you do, enough practice problems. So that next 2 classes we'll be doing a lot of problems on that. So let's see the formulas and just put it down in one go. So if you're projecting with u and theta, so you land somewhere here. This is range. This is H max. This is the velocity with an angle alpha. So we know H max is u square sine square theta by 2g. Time of flight 2u sine theta by g. Range u square sine 2 theta by g. Remember, valid only when you come to same level. And here also we know theta 90 minus theta gives same range. Theta 45 is maximum range. X coordinate is u cos theta t. Y coordinate is u sin theta t minus half gt square. So if someone asks you position vector r bar, which is xi cap plus yj cap, just substitute that. That will be u cos theta t I cap plus u sin theta t minus half gt square j cap. That's your position vector. If someone asks you find the position vector at 2 seconds, find x coordinate, y coordinate, xi cap, yj cap. Vectors we must have done that thing. So velocity vx will be ux, which is u cos theta only, whereas vy is u sin theta minus gt. So if someone asks you find the velocity vector, which is vx I cap, vy j cap, that will be u cos theta I cap plus u sin theta minus gt j cap. And then you have equation of trajectory. Y is x tan theta minus gx square by 2u square cos square theta. And we have tan alpha. This is the angle at any instant. U sin theta minus gt by u cos theta. And we also know the horizontal velocity will always remain same. V cos alpha is u cos theta. So these are all the formulas. That's everything. So we have done each one separately on different pages, but I just combined all of them. You can have a look at this. Done? Let's see a problem. Clear? Next thing. Let's say a question. You're projecting with speed 20 meters per second at 60 degrees. So the question is find H max, range, time of flight, time of ascent, time of descent. Then find position and velocity vector. At time at t is equal to 1 second. Find equation of trajectory. Find speed at h max. Find time when it makes an angle 45 with the horizontal. Get them. All are formula based. Huh? Whatever formulas I wrote, it is all based on that only. Simple formula substitution, get it. I'll give you 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Then I'll discuss everything in one go.
So we take GS10, right? So
See the first one. First one is simply formula substitution only. H max is u square sine square theta by 2g. U is 20 square, that is 20 into 20. Sine 60 will be root 3 by 2 ka square. This is 2 into 10. This goes off. 20 sine 60 will be 3 by 4 sine 60 ka root. So that is 15 meters. Range u square sine 2 theta by g. That's again 20 into 20. That's sine 120. That's 40 into root 3 by 2. 20 root 3 meters. Time of flight is 2u sine theta by g. 2 into 20 by 10. Sine 60 is root 3 by 2. 2 root 3 seconds. Time of ascent, time of descent, both are same, which is u sine theta by g. That's 20 by 10. Sine 60 is root 3 by 2. This is the first one. Check your calculations. If you didn't get the answer, if there's any doubt, please ask. It is simply just take the formulas and put the numbers. There's nothing much in that. That's the first one. Second one. What did he ask you? Find the position and velocity at 1 second. Look at the second one. What is x? U cos theta into time. So u is 20, cos 60. Cos 60 is after 10t. What is y? U sine theta t minus half gt squared. U is 20, sine 60 is root 3 by 2, time is t, half g is 10t squared. That would be 10 root 3 minus 5t squared. So if someone asks you position vector r bar, which is 10t I cap, 10 root 3 t minus 5t square j cap. You wanted 1 second, na? One is put t is equal to 1 second here, you'll get the answer. So basically I showed you for any time. So 1 second, 2 second, whatever you want, you can substitute the time in this thing, you'll get the respective answer. What is Vx? Horizontal velocity will never change, u cos theta, which is 20 cos 60, which is 10 meters per second. Vy is u sine theta minus gt, which is 20 sine 60 root 3 by 2. G is 10 t. That's 10 root 3 minus 10 t. So what is the velocity vector? Vx I cap plus Vy j cap. That would be 10 I cap plus 10 root 3 minus 10 t j cap. Have a look at the B part. B part is a very good one. We are going to do questions based on this thing, but in the entire thing, right? B part is one of the very good one. You should know this thing: position vector, velocity vector. You study this in vectors. If I give you x and y coordinates, you can find the position vector. If I give you horizontal and vertical velocity, just put I caps and j caps, nothing much. Hope this was clear. Any particular doubt on B part, please do ask me, get it clear. Then look at the third question. Equation of trajectory. What is equation of trajectory? Y is equal to x tan theta minus gx square by 2u square cos square theta. X tan theta is tan 60, g is 10, u square is 20 square, that is cos 60 ka square. That will be x root 3 minus 10 x square, that's 2 into 400. Cos 60 is after 1/4. So 1/4 100 0 0, you get x root 3 minus x square by 20. So the equation of the trajectory is x root 3 minus x square by 20. So this is the equation of trajectory. Just substitute theta, u, and all the stuff in that. Then the fourth question was find the speed at h max. I know at the maximum height, the speed is u cos theta and vertical velocity is 0. So this would be 20 into cos 60, which is 10. So h max may, this is the speed will be only the horizontal velocity. That's your fourth question. So because at the maximum height, vertical component is 0, the only velocity that is there for you is the horizontal guy. That's your C and D. And the last one. The E part says, find the time when the angle is 45 degree. Now you need to understand there are 2 times it will make 45. While it is going up, it can make 45. While coming down also, it can make 45. So in this case, you take alpha is plus 45. Here you take alpha is minus 45. If you're going up, the angle is positive. If you're coming down, below the x-axis angle is negative. Since you didn't tell me which 45, I have to take both of them. The formula is tan alpha is u sine theta minus gt by u cos alpha, u cos theta. So here it will be tan. I'll take both plus or minus 45. U is 20, sine 60 is root 3 by 2. This is 10t by 20, cos 60 is half. You should know this thing. Tan of minus theta is minus of tan theta. So if there is a minus inside the angle, it will come out. In case you don't know this thing, remember now. So this tan 45 becomes plus or minus tan 45. This is 10 root 3 minus 10t by 10. So 10, 10, 10 will cancel. This becomes plus or minus 1 root 3 minus t. So we get the time is root 3 plus or minus 1. So there are 2 times actually. Meaning this is the first time it will make 45 degree. This is the second time it will make 45 but in the reverse direction. So exam if they ask a question like this, now find the time it will make 45 while coming down. Answer is T2. While going up, answer is T1. You don't tell me anything. Both are right. That's your E part. So have a look at this. Any particular doubt in A, B, C, D, E, do ask me. Get it cleared. So like I said, the entire thing is okay. It is not, I won't say it is easy, but it is, basically 1D and 2D combination. The major thing is you'll understand most of it, but until unless you practice problems, it's a different story. Remember that. Most people read, they think I understood, so I should be able to do it. It's not like that. Until unless you actually get onto it and do it, it is like, watching your friend riding a bicycle and you riding a bicycle. Whole game is different. Looking always, when you see something, it always looks easy. When you actually try, you'll understand. So next 2 classes, we'll be doing a lot of problems on this stuff based on projectiles and all. So that will be taken care of. So I think with that, we can wind up the session. Any doubts you have, you can ask, or else you are free to leave. Just a thing, Friday, we're going to discuss both the papers. So make sure to solve them and come. Yeah. Rahil, you got something? So if there are any doubts in today's class or anything you want to ask, you can ask, or else you can disconnect.
Sir, can you please go back to the A part?